What's up, y'all? This is Mondays with Margaret's Election Takeover. Okay, y'all know I told y'all that I was probably going to do some type of election coverage, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really sure, y'all. And I had planned to be on camera. Okay, I had planned to be on camera. Okay, but Ursher came last night. Right, y'all. Ursher, baby. Actually, I'm gonna try to put in some of that footage from last night so y'all can see some of it before we start going into all of this, what's gonna be a really long, stressful week. Okay, that's why I wanted to come to talk to you about too. Okay, what you can expect from this week in Pure Mondays with Margaret style. Okay, we're gonna cover everything political. There's so much to know, so much that I just learned even with just in the past few hours, when it comes to just what we should really be expecting out here with this crazy ass election. And so as you can see here, I'm kicking it off. We're starting out. Well, first of all, how y'all feeling? I know y'all probably like, Mark, don't ask us that question. Do not ask us that question because it's going to send us into a tail spin. But I'm going to ask it anyway because that's what I do. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling right now with this election? Are y'all feeling like we got this? Y'all feeling like I'm just not sure. How are y'all feeling? Drop down in the chat because y'all know a lot of times if I'm asking you to drop down in the chat, it's because I'm trying to get y'all to win something. Okay. But what's like my uncle always says, you gotta play to win. That's a gambling term. Okay, so just it is what it is. Um Drop down in the chat. Let me know how you feel. Now, I'm not asking you who you think's gonna win. We're not gonna get into all that, okay? Because I'm gonna give you the tea on what the people are saying about all that. For me, honestly, I was feeling okay. I was feeling okay until people start putting their think pieces up. And I feel like people always tend to always um say, okay, well, this particular Republican is going to win. I'm not even going to say with number 45, which is what I still call him. I'll probably say his name throughout here just for journalistic purposes. But, I know a lot of people, I mean, just a lot of people are putting their think pieces out of just how they think this is going to go. Okay. But, I like to look at and go to the experts, okay, who can really break this stuff down. So y'all know what to expect. I don't know. Did y'all see? Not too long ago, I made a post about these Trump poll watchers. Okay. I don't know if you guys have already got on and voted. Obviously, if you haven't, it's too late to do early voting. But of course, you can vote during the general election tomorrow. I will say, I will say, it's gonna be a lot. I voted on Saturday morning. It was a long, long, long line, and so I already know tomorrow the lines are going to be crazy. But this is they're saying like this is going to be an historic election just because we were talking about voter turnout, certain voter turnout in other states, where you have particularly there was the Harris rally that just happened in Milwaukee and they after that saw a surge in voter turnout, particularly in people registering to vote for the first time. I want to say there was like a 13% increase, but just in that alone. And so they're like, however this shapes out, it's definitely going to go down in history. Okay, it's definitely going down in history. Now, let me. I was trying to find something I wanted to show to y'all. Okay, but let me just go ahead and get into what's really happening because we ain't got time for that. So y'all know I got to give you the tea. First of all, as you see here, okay, as you could see here, you see this poll, and so this came out as results really from as of the weekend. Okay, no, it's Monday evening when I'm doing this video. It's probably not gonna be too much of a change. Okay, so but just so y'all can see, I just thought I was like, I don't even know if y'all can really, I hope y'all can hear me on this way with this type of way I'm doing it. Usually I do these live and I'm doing this recording, and so it's not really showing me if my microphone, if y'all can hear me or not. I'm just gonna hope you can. But as you can see here, we got this poll here. Now this was a poll that came out, and this was done by NBC News, and this has Trump and Kamala. Oh, I don't know like the fact that I said his name first. Our vice president, okay, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, and they are neck and neck. And I don't know why, y'all, this was surprising to me, because on one hand, it's really not surprising. It shouldn't be surprising. But for some reason, I was just like, let me tell you why it's surprising. It's not even surprising. It's mind boggling, because for me, it's like at this point, what else do y'all need to know that he is not the way to go? Like, to me, it's very clear to me when people, especially people talk about like the economy and stuff like that, as far as that being the reason why they want to go back to Trump. But if you actually look at any of his quote unquote plans, because y'all know he don't do plans, he does concepts. And that what he said, okay, I'm not let Kamala had got there and said something like that. Y'all would have tore her up. Y'all would have anyway. Um and and his look, I'd have got sidetracked thinking about that day, because I was like, if Kamala Harris would have said that, y'all don't want to let her slide for nothing. And it's crazy because this campaign of hers only been going on for some however many days, and she has not had like really one moment where someone's like, that's finna kill it, that's finna. Trump has had several, and y'all still are riding for this buffoon. But anyway, if you look at any of his plans for the economy, because like I say, I mean, I shouldn't say plans, his thoughts, whatever, something that someone wrote up for him, because he doesn't actually do any of that type of political, campaigning. He's not that type of politician. It's actually going to make our economy worse. So I just assume that people who are pro him are definitely not pro like reading and research. But anyway, we'll talk about that on a different day. So as you can see here, it's neck and neck, and this is why I say like it's just mind-boggling to me. I forgot I was talking about pro Trump, the pro Trump poll watchers. I totally forgot where I was going with that. So, let's actually we're gonna keep going talking about the polls, and then we're gonna go on to the what I was talking about, the Trump poll watchers and all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of interesting information that came out from this. So as you see, like I saw here, they're neck and neck, right? This is on YouTube. Obviously, I can't play the video. But it's a really good. I was watching this morning, and there are several polls out there. Keep in mind, this is one of many, but all the polls, whether it's this one, wherever you find them, all of them either have neck and neck, or it might just have a percentage off, whatever the case may be. Okay, but all of them are like, this is going to be neck and neck. And the thing that's really interesting, I was going to wait to touch on this point, but I was just going to talk about it now, is when it comes to this election, y'all, we probably won't even know. We probably won't even know who won until they saying like Saturday, which is insane. I know. But if you remember how everything played out with the last election, because 45, okay, our 45th president, who for some crazy reason some of y'all wanted to be the president again, he, had declared all that election fraud, saying it was fraud, even though it's funny because obviously if he would have won, he wouldn't have said that. But, that was the thing. And so you had all these delays, and they were running all these recounts, and, having to wait for all, certain states having to wait for their absentee ballots to be counted after, the general election ballots that were cast on that day were counted, like just all these delays, right? And a lot of those states, some of those key states that were big on saying that there was this election fraud, a lot of those Republican-led states or whatever, are the states where there's going to be this delay, right, when it comes to counting the votes, because there's certain laws that their states passed and did not fix, where therefore they have to wait until after all the votes are counted before they actually start counting their mail-in ballots, their absentee votes. And the reason why I want to point that out is because what they're saying is, it's really kind of setting the scene, right? So for Trump to basically declare like an early victory, and then when these ballots start coming in, that they're kind of predicting might actually be going towards Harris, that he could say, "Oh, well, it's election fraud," right? Because using the whole thing of all these delayed votes and it taking a long time for it to happen. And so they're putting the narrative like, oh, it's taking this long time because they're trying to rig this election. They're trying to make it so that I win. Um, and so if you look at states, I want to say Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and I think there's a couple other states where it's like that, where they're predicting like it's going to cause these delays because it's going to take a while for us to get these, excuse me, numbers in. Um, they're saying that we're really not going to have a concrete for real answer until possibly the weekend. So, child, it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week, but let's go ahead and get on into it. So, I'm just gonna, like I said, I can't play the video, but I'm gonna scroll it on through. You know how we do. We gonna make it work. I'm gonna find a way because I'm a Capricorn. Let me turn this music down a little bit. I hope by the time I get done with this video, um, y'all the audio played on this, because if not, I'm gonna be so irritated because I just do not understand what is happening in StreamYard. What is happening? I mean, it says my mic is on, so we gonna see. We gonna see. Anyway, so as you can see here, it says the poll finds Harris with her biggest advantages over Trump among Black voters. Okay, y'all see that? Now, the reason why it's interesting is because there be so many of y'all out here who be like, Black folks aren't voting for Kamala Harris, or Black folks like this. I'm like, who? Who? Because the numbers don't lie. Not even that. I don't even have to even the numbers, just as a Black individual in the conversation I'm having. I already know where a lot of people's votes lie. And right here, you see Harris with her biggest advantages over Trump among Black voters, 87% to 9%. Okay. So, and I think there's something to be said about that, though, because also, who do you think votes the most out of those Black voters? Dang, look at that. Look at that. I done did a cell phone drop. Not a mic drop, a cell phone drop. I hope y'all don't hear this damn chair squeaking. Anyway, not in my good chair right now. I just sat down at the kitchen table so I could bring y'all this news. Okay? I sat down so I could bring y'all this news. And I'm gonna start using I have a little AI little cartoon thing. I just couldn't figure out how to get it working on here. I'm gonna get that working so I can use that so y'all can at least get some type of motion. Okay, but who y'all think? I'm sure drop down in the chat. Who y'all think are the ones who are voting the most out of that category? Okay, if you didn't figure it out, Black women, and that's in any election, whether it's whether when hell, just any election, whether if you look at Hillary, Obama, it's always Black women who are leading that. Okay, so let's move along here. It says, now this is they've been talking a lot about this historic gender gap, right? That's going on with this election. And this is actually from MSNBC. If you want to follow, if you want to go, they've done some excellent reporting. That's kind of where I'm basing a lot of this stuff from, and then previous conversations that I've had. So as you see here, sorry, I got distracted. I was looking at something. I was trying to pick up that dang phone as quietly as possible. But so you see, it says with women supporting Harris by a 16-point margin. Okay, 57% to 41%, and men backing Trump by 18 points, 58% to 40%. Okay, and so is that shocking? No. I don't really have much to say about that because it's not shocking. Here's really where I wanted to actually get to. It talks about Harris maintaining the significant lead when it comes to issues such as abortion, such as like representing the middle class. And Trump leads when it comes to candidates and when it comes to conversations surrounding the economy, inflation. I don't know if it says it on here, but another thing is the border. We're still talking about this dang on border, which is just like insane to me. that in 2024 people are even still falling for that narrative, that that's even like one of our major issues, because you would think by now we know it's not. But let me scroll on through here, because it also, there's also some things I want you to see here. Like if you look at the bottom here, it says, I'm not gonna play it, we have to play it, but it says Florida, Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota all have ballot measures about marijuana. Did you guys also know that all the seats, like all, was it 435 of the seats in the House, like the US House, are up for election? I don't know if people realize that. There's a lot that is happening that has other things to do outside of the presidential campaigns, and why we need to be paying attention, and why I talk so much about it being so important to follow what's happening locally in your state. We have a lot of things coming up in Minnesota when it comes to our legislative session. We'll get into that another day. But actually, when you talk about marijuana, like I just mentioned with those other states, we had some legislation passed here in Minnesota that just like kind of just crept up on us, that I didn't even realize happened when it comes to marijuana, and why you see, even though it's legalized here, there's a reason why you're not seeing all of these dispensaries pop up like we would have thought we would have had by now, selling, like, for real THC that people want. Not no and this is no shade, okay? But if you are a consumer, you want the real deal. You want no low dose. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You're not flying into Minnesota, be like, oh, they got dispensaries to go get some low dose or to go get some Delta 9. You're just not doing that. Anyway, so as you can see here, it says Arizona is the only state with an immigration related ballot measure. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are going on that aren't being talked about as much. This guy here, he's just talking about um, he's still talking about the dang polls. Okay, I'm trying to get to a further part. Okay, so this was a little interesting here, and it talks about just how before, one of the things that happened when our vice president, Mrs. Harris, announced her candidacy, is that it brought this excitement back into this election, because before that people really were not excited about it. When it was Biden, they were like, I just don't even give it, like, I don't want to say it's, well, I mean, they kind of were like, I just don't even give a damn if we want to keep it real, if we want to keep it real. And then when Harris said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna boost this older white gentleman. I was gonna say it in a much more crass way, but anyway, so I decided to have some couth with it, because anyway, I don't have no beef with Biden. And she said, move aside and let me do what a black woman does. Okay. People got really excited. I mean, if you look at that Democratic convention, I mean, if there was ever time you wanted to be at a convention, it was that convention. What do y'all think, Nalo? Do you think that excitement is still there, or do you think people are just over it? I find it kind of interesting that people are just over it, because I feel like it's not that they're over it from the side that you would think they'd be over it on. We could talk about that on a different day. I don't even have like the brain capacity to go deep further into that thought. Okay, I'm sitting here. Y'all can't see me. I got my bonnet on. I still got my shirt on that I wore to Usher last night. It's a mess. Anyway, so as you can see, as I had mentioned on here, there are 34 Senate seats up for grabs. It's a lot going on that we could talk about. Maybe I'll do a just legislative episode on this. Okay, this is what I was trying to get to, y'all. Y'all see, I probably just rambling. Y'all like, she's been talking about nothing. Why ain't been talking about nothing? Because everything I talk about is real. But this is what I wanted to show y'all right here. Okay. If sorry, y'all, I heard my son doing something. It's a lot going on right now, and I don't have my headphones and microphone, y'all. So bear with me. That's why you picking up every dang ounce sound possible. But as you can see here, this talks about what I was saying, where they are leading on some of the key issues. So as you can see, Harris is leading here in abortion. She's leading in bringing the country, quote unquote, together, looking out for the middle class. Trump is, now I don't know why this is competent and effective, because Trump ain't neither. one of those. I don't know where that's coming from. But when it says inflation, cost of living, as I mentioned, immigration, he is leading in those areas. Um, and as I mentioned beginning of this, though, if you look at it, his actual quote unquote concepts slash non plans, he gonna make this economy worse. Okay, but y'all gonna stick beside him, I guess. So he's breaking down this math here. We're not going to go into all that. Now, this was also interesting as well. While I hate to see it, it's just what it is. This is all based, of course, on these NBC. Clearly, I need to get something to drink, y'all. Y'all hear there's a lot of weirdness going on when I'm talking. Um, NBC poll saying that if talking about the approval ratings, right? They do this all the time, and how Joe Biden you know, has basically a 41% approval rating. And as far as how people feel about him at the end of his term, and Trump having a 48% in comparison. Both aren't good. If we're being clear, both aren't good. Both aren't really great. But, um, you know, here's what I will say. Whenever it comes to Obama, when it comes to like Obama, Biden, I feel like a lot of times and a lot of these Democratic candidates, there's so much that they have to clean up that cannot be done in 4 years, and there's so much that gets blocked. Right, like when you look back on Obama's term, there's a lot of things that Donald Trump got credit for that Obama was actually trying to pass. But because he kept getting blocked all the dang on time because the Republicans didn't want to let him do nothing. Now, of course, then when Trump comes in, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to let you do that. Oh, yeah, we're going to pass this, we're going to pass that. And so there's a lot of things that people give Trump for that he really didn't really do, do. Obama had already laid the grounds, but they didn't let him do nothing. But when it comes, so it doesn't surprise me. But also, like I said, there's like when it comes to inflation, that didn't start after Trump left. You know what I mean? Like, did y'all not remember that he was there this whole pandemic? We probably would have gotten this pandemic sooner if we did not have Trump. To be honest with you, in office at that time, it was a lot of his decisions and his downplaying it that prolonged that and made it much worse. Um, that wasn't even right, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. So let's just keep it moving. Okay. So we can go ahead and wrap this up because y'all can tell I'm tired. I'm probably going to go back live with y'all at some point in time tomorrow, but I got some of the things I got to do. Okay. So anyway, as you could see, this is just some other things he was talking about. I actually don't remember exactly what he was talking about here, so I won't get too much into that. Okay. So let's just go into some other things. But the thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about too is the fact that oh, I can see my microphone is working. Okay. Like I had mentioned earlier before, we're not sure when we're going to know these full results, and that's just the truth. We don't know where we're going to know these full results because, like I said, these states where you would think that they would want to be like, okay, we want to make sure that let me stop this because I did not mean for that to be playing. I ain't got time for YouTube or nobody to strike me down. That should have made changes so that we wouldn't have this issue of having to wait 10,000 hours and 10,000 days to get these results. They didn't. You would think that they would want to look up to, like I said, if we're talking about election fraud and all this type of stuff, you would think that the Republicans particularly would want to be like, we want to make sure that we eliminate all those possibilities. But no, they actually want to make it possible because, like I said, they want to what? Ding, ding, ding. Be like, oh, this is fraud and this and that when it's not going his way. And they also said that, don't be surprised if you see that the election in general appears to be leaning his way. You know what I mean? Because it's that'll change as these other votes get counted in. Okay. So as you see, this pro Trump poll watchers prime for election day action in key state. Now, someone had told me on my Facebook at some point in time about these people who were possibly going to be, causing some ruckus. One of the reasons um, why I wanted to vote early, so I didn't have to deal with all that. Child, we're gonna try to. Okay, there we go. Because I was like, I ain't got time. I ain't got time for them to be like, oh, you got these ads on here. No, there's some ads over here. We're just gonna pretend like we don't see that. But so as you could see here, I'm just gonna read this real quickly and get through this for y'all. But it says, so I'm not gonna put it in the way that I normally would put it, which is kind of flipping the words and putting it in a way that makes sense. You know what I mean? For when you're reading a headline or you're reporting a headline, there's a difference. Okay, those of us who really know you don't read it the same way when you're reporting it on the air. Okay, print is not the same as air. Anyway, let's get out here and get and talk about this. So basically, what they were talking about is, let's see. It says the moment election workers in Milwaukee area started counting mail-in votes, activists backing Donald Trump's claim that his 2020 defeat was fraudulent began challenging every day on ballot, y'all. Now, this is, as you see, this is from Reuters. Okay, so if you want to go and check out their website, this is where it's coming from. It says the observers raised a litany of complaints as poll staff read the absentee names and addresses aloud. Jesus Christ. As required in the state of Wisconsin. Like, what? Anyway, according to local election officials who said the activists were seeking to intimidate the volunteers. The issues included objections that the workers were speaking too softly, that envelopes did not contain a signed form from the voter attesting they requested the ballot, and even the presence of an ink scratch, child, said the officials, adding that the disruption caused long delays. Okay, and so what I am hearing is that basically they're saying, this was just this is just the tipping point. This is just they were just practicing. They were getting warmed up for what they actually plan to do tomorrow. And so I know that there are people who are planning. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is. Now, as you know, there are definitely strict rules when it comes to polling sites. You can't have, like, whether it's pro Harris, pro Trump, pro Walls, pro Vance. You can't have any of that type of stuff on as you're voting. I'm not even sure if you could even have something that says I'm with her, that just says I'm with her. Anything that, they could look at that and say, that's clearly suggesting you're talking about Harris. You can't, be like right there on the premises, handing out stuff. Anything that's going to look like you're trying to sway people to a certain candidate, you can't do that. Now, what you do as far as when you're, within a safe distance outside of all that, you could then that's your then you could do that. And so what I understand is there are definitely people who are planning to be disruptive, however they can be disruptive, and definitely challenging these votes. I'm not sure how much we'll see that in Minnesota, but it's definitely why I said I wanted to vote early, not only not to get caught up in any riffraff and just the long lines, but definitely to try to avoid any people who are going to be out here acting a fool, trying to deter people from voting, trying to provide misinformation about voting, all that type of stuff. We ain't here for. Okay, we are not here for. So it's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. I'm not gonna actually. I got this. Usually, I would do this in like an hour. Okay, I got this done real quick. Okay, because I'm tired. I am tired. Like I said, I went to Ursher. I went to Ursher. Oh yeah, I did tell y'all I was gonna try to find y'all something to put in for the for the concert. So let me go ahead and do that. But there is a lot going on. I plan to probably do some more reporting with you guys, um and keeping you guys, you know Usher playing, um abreast of everything that's going on, with this election. Like I said, it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute. The day after the election, I actually will be out at the high school where I'm teaching this advocacy class. And so I did tell them that I thought about doing something of sharing their opinions and how they feel about the election and whatnot. So we'll see. I might be sharing, sharing that with y'all. But in the meantime, as you can see, I got some footage from when I saw Usher last night. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Okay, I might tune in with y'all tomorrow evening. We'll see how I feel because these elections, I be stressed. Okay, I be stressed, and I really don't be one. I usually just go to sleep. I go to sleep. I there's Mm-mm. So we go see. But anyway, so here's a little bit of Usher. What? I realized someone told me I got some of y'all's parents acting nasty on here. Okay, not in this particular video, but y'all know if you done been to Usher concert when it came to those cherries, when it came to the cherries, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. And some of y'all I done had some. I done had. I'm gonna say basically my student. Okay, reach out to me talking about those are literally my parents on that video. Child, that's not the cherry part of the video. We was handing out cherries. And he was handing out 2 cherries. Okay, if you ain't been to Usher concert, you're wasting the clips. Okay, just use your mind what them 2 cherries are supposed to represent. And some of y'all's parents was out here showing us how you became parents. Okay, but here's a little bit of Usher, baby. Okay, I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye. Thought that she was the one for me. But I found out that she was on for me.